Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the League of Legends MUIDS House Tournament of 2021. My name is Pat, and today I'm joined with Ken from Grade 10, as well as our Olympian team captain, Timur. Please say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
So this is the first game between Berserkers and Titans. Now we're in the picking and banning phase. So let's just get right into this game. So first off, we have some Kazakhs, Echo and Kane ban from Berserkers. Really heavily focused on the jungle champions here for Berserkers. For Titans, they're looking to ban Lee Sin and Jin. I've heard good things about I'm a white Asian guy's Lee Sin, which is Mark. I've heard good things about him being a very good Lee Sin player. And now Kaiser has been banned. Two ADCs now banned from Titans. Gonna be the first pick from Berserkers, gonna be Yone, as well as Renekton from Titans.
Interesting matchup because Renekton can be both versatile in mid and top, and it counter Yon very much so.
Yes. Meanwhile, Nidalee has been picked as the jungler for Berserkers, as well as Evelyn for Titans. Set is being hovered for Berserkers.
I think that the Titans pick Renekton too early because Yon can flex pick either top or mid. This leaves that Titan got counter pick using Volibear in the top lane, and Yon will be flexed into mid lane.
Yes, and now Diana has been picked, so Renekton is likely going to the top lane. Meanwhile, Leona has been banned. Relatively strong support, and well, as of right now, we can see that from Titans they have a very heavily engaged team comp, but Renekton is a early game champion, so their disadvantage is that they don't really have a scaling top laner.
Yeah, Renekton needs to be popping off on the early game because if he cannot, in the late game, he will be just a sad crocodile. And so Seraphine has been banned, a very, I would say, disgusting support, a very high damage output, as well as CCs, and Malphite has also been banned.
Yep, really strong champion right now. He is very tanky and has a lot of damage, and especially his ultimate, which is a big playmaking tool.
I'm interested to see if Yone and Volibear is going to swap lanes or not, because both of these champions could be played in both top and mid lane, but likely now I think that Yone will be on mid and Volibear will be on the top lane. And also, as well as Morgana, quite a heavily focused support ban again. Not so much for the ADCs from Berserkers. Aphilio has been picked up by Darkness from Titans. Aphelios is as we know, a 200 years champion. He can be very high damage output, but his only disadvantage is that he has not a lot of mobility. He has so much utility, but not much for mobility. So he can get caught out quite easily if Berserkers can punish that.
Yep. Meanwhile, for Berserkers, Caitlyn and Thresh has been locked. So it's going to be Volibear top, Nidalee jungle, Yone mid, Caitlyn bot lane, and Thresh support. So a relatively strong team composition with high scaling, especially the Yone and Caitlyn, which are late game hyper carries. For the Titans, we have Renekton top, Evelyn jungle, Diana mid, Aphelios bot lane, and Nautilus support. So I think Titans, they should focus on their early game a lot to get the Renekton to pop off and snowball, because their team comp is not really that scaling.
The only thing that Titans also have to watch out is to not get their Aphelios caught out so often, because Aphelios and Diana is their two main carries in the late game. It's going to be quite rough if Renekton cannot snowball and Aphelios has been disabled. If the Aphelios has been disabled, this is really, really important for the late game carry. Meanwhile, I do think that is a very good team composition for Berserkers. You got tanky Volibear, a good jungle champion Nidalee, which can vary, depends on the skill level. But I believe that this Nidalee is would be quite good, as well as Yone and Caitlyn, a very good late game carries. Fresh, a very versatile support. Also
Yep.
high skill level. If you can pop up that nice hook, you may find it easy kill.
Yep, I agree. Berserker does have a slight advantage in terms of team comp. They have a scaling team comp as well as a beefy frontliner with Thresh and Volibear. They also have more range. So they have the Nidalee poke and also the Caitlyn's range. So I think their team comp should heavily focus on like poking with the Nidalee and Caitlyn. On the other hand, Titans, they rely heavily on engage. They have the Nautilus, the Diana, the Evelynn, and the Renekton. So in order to successfully win, they have to engage a lot.
That's right. And then we'll be back for the in-game footage, because we will have some delays because of the spectator mode. So yeah, we'll be right back in just a minute. Okay, guys, so now we are into the first game of this tournament between Berserkers and Titans.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
Aw. ย้ายเลย
Minions have spawned.
ย้ายเลย
เสียงมันออกไลฟ์ปะ
Okay.
เสียงที่พี่บอกว่าย้ายอะ
Okay, so now we're into the game. First, a nice poke in the mid lane for Yone with Diana. Quite some
Mean-
trade. What a bit
Yep.
of lot of damage.
Meanwhile, in top lane, a little poke from Renekton. Do note that Renekton is running PTA with Ignite, so we will surely see him try to use his early game advantage to fight with the Volibear. Moving on to the bot lane, nothing really happened right now, just farming and poking.
I think now champions such as Yone should be taking short trades. Don't extend trades because he's a quite weak in the game. So having extended trade could benefit Diana more than Yone could survive the damage. So what he should do is just use his third Q and then maybe W or use E first and engage in order to back away. Both junglers are now in the top side of the map. Evelyn is going to be spotted by the Vision Plant Bloomer there.
And Nidalee is going to start doing the Scuttle Crab. Meanwhile, Diana is moving up to contest this Scuttle Crab. Looks like Evelyn is going to get this Scuttle Crab because of the Diana helping. Yone coming in with his E and has to back away. Renekton roaming down. And Nidalee is going to lose the Scuttle Crab.
Quite a
Fight
very heavy trade in the top lane. Not even a trade anymore. Renekton is running for the lives. Flash
Flash
is now
traded.
been burned.
The fight happening in mid lane right now. Meanwhile, a gank from Evelyn, but
First blood's going to be collected by the Renekton with not quite a help of Evelyn, just the
yeah, she
presence.
just wasted her flash, which is bad, but
Yeah.
at least they got first blood.
Yeah, at least they got first blood. Already top has already burned their two spells, the flash and ignite, as well as jungler's flash. So I do think that Nidalee could be able to gank top lane from now.
So you can see on the minimap that Nidalee is actually invading the Evelyn on the blue side, and I think she would probably make her way. Oh no, she's actually recalling. I thought she would actually make her way down to bot lane.
Do you think Nola's gonna be able to spot or not? I don't think so.
Yep,
Because-
Nidalee has safely recalled back.
Yeah. I do think that a moment over there, Diana was trying to roam, but then maybe she gets spotted or just changed their mind because they just walk back to the lane. Some trade going on in mid lane. Gonna take that tower
Ooh,
shot for
that-
Yone.
That tower damage isn't really good for Yone.
Yeah, it's quite hurtful. And you got that third shot when you trade in the early game.
Yep.
Which is now he's going to recall. Nidalee has been spotted, as well as Evelyn. Pretty even farm for the both of the bot laners. The carries 52 to 50. Renekton's and Diana is getting a bit of advantage. And now I think
Fresh
we
has
have
been
some
disconnected.
disconnect. Maybe would pause the game. Oh no, he's already
She's
back.
coming back.
Gladly.
Yeah, but I would say Renekton is slightly higher in farm, which is not a surprise because Renekton should win the early game. Both junglers are doing fine. Farm for mid lane, Diana is on the advantage, which isn't a surprise as well because as we mentioned, Yone isn't really strong in the early game. And yeah, so far it's a very passive game.
Ooh, coming in
Ooh.
from Star Rain, Renekton with the full combo. Will just literally obliterate Volibear out of existence.
Yep. Like we mentioned, Renekton has to win the early game to snowball, and we can clearly see right now that the Renekton is winning against the Volibear. Item-wise, you can see that the Volibear has bought a Bamboo Vest, which is a anti-healing item, so it should help against him laning with the Renekton.
But looks like Titans are going to start off with the Ocean Drake over here. Meanwhile, I think the Berserkers already noticed that they're taking the dragon. Maybe looking for steal, but I don't think it's going to be happening because... But then... Yone came in. Quite a nice pick off, but didn't manage to get the dragon, but also get ignited by their mid lane. So there's a mid lane trade. A little bit of advantage going on to Titan's side because they got the Ocean Drake. I have to say that was a really good ult from Yone, but the fact that he's already too far into the enemy lines and there's no one there to help him, that's just sad because it was a very beautiful engage. If there's what were to be a follow-up, it would be quite an interesting fight.
But well, he still got Diana, which is a 1-for-1 trade, so it's not really that bad. Meanwhile, Yone is fighting with Diana.
Ooh, a nice speed on there. Flash came in away from Diana. Pretty cheeky over there, but also the Titans mid lane has no flash left, so it would be quite an opportunity for the Berserkers jungler to come to mid lane again. Meanwhile, now we have some trading begin in the top lane. Seems to favor the Renekton lot, which is already 2-0. High damage output coming in out from Renekton from the items that we can be seen in the scoreboard.
Yep. Tanking a lot of damage does the Volibear. Not sure what he's doing.
I
Yeah, you
think
can
right
see.
now, yeah, the Volibear needs to safe farm, so
Yep.
it shouldn't be too aggressive, shouldn't be pushing in the lane, or it's going to be a Renekton nightmare because now it's going to be the engage, bit of trade going in, a lot of damage coming through from Renekton. Volibear is now quite low, less than 50% health. Be a lot hard for Berserkers to come back in the top lane because now the Renekton is starting to snowball from the kills in the farms. We can see. Seems like in the minimap they're moving
Volibear
down.
is going to walk in the
Volibear is
bush.
going to walk
He's
into
gonna
the
get
bush,
caught.
get caught, and then Renekton is on a killing spree. Not quite sure why he walked in there, as his already his jungler is already back off, and he shouldn't be there too. Wondering if that Renekton.
Not sure what the Volibear was thinking. In 3-0, Renekton at 11 minutes in the game, that is not looking good for the Berserkers at all.
Because it's going to be a lot of problem for the Eddie Carry to survive from that Renekton dive. He can literally just use his E twice and then he can be able to catch up, with the Caitlyn. But Caitlyn, however, has some of that good mobility from her E, as well as the Gale Force if she's looking to buy, but I don't think she's going for Gale Force as she already buy the items for Immortal Shield Bow. So now the Renekton has got his first mythic item, which is the Gordinka. A really OP healing anti-bursting item.
It gives you damage, it gives you health, but most of all, the active, it makes you lifesteal a lot. So he's going to be a beast in team fight and draining a lot of damage. Dragon spawning in 26 seconds. I think Titans should take this as they can get the soul.
A little bit of trade going on. Proceeds to miss his Q twice from Yone, but still a decent damage because Diana didn't do anything.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Meanwhile, in the
See-
top
Okay.
lane, yeah, sorry. So you can see Evelyn is doing the Rift Herald in the top lane, and Nidalee is recalling. Yone roaming up and would get spotted by
But the
Diana.
Diana, Renekton is slowly moving down, hiding in a bush. I think that this Evelyn is going to be able to get the Rift Herald quite easy. And then maybe looking for a dive here in top lane, if we can get the camera up there.
Yep, Rift Herald has been spawned. A dive happening in top lane.
Ooh, a
and
very good ulti from the Volibear, but then the tower's gonna fall. Volibear gonna flash out, the Ignite's burning him, as well as the trade between Yone and Diana. Nothing's really gonna happen. But Volibear is still running for his life with the Renekton. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald is starting to push in. And now the Nidalee is starting to the back line. No friends helping him out, but
Aphelios getting caught, has to flash away. Get exhausted by Thresh and Hook. And it's a 1v3.
really nice hook from Trash. get that Aphelios called out. As we mentioned in the the ban phase, pick ban phase, that Aphelios can be easily getting caught in caught. So that fresh hook, if he can land that more and more, I think he would be able to catch the Aphelios even more.
Volibear actually survived that. I'm surprised. He survived the 1v2 and actually get the kill on Evelyn as well. So that's actually very nice by the Volibear.
Meanwhile, the Nidalee is going to be spotted by the ward up top. And things not really going to happen right now because the first tower has already been destroyed in top lane. Volibear needs to farm up to get more tanky for his team in order to be able to stay in team fights. Misses hook, just pretend that didn't happen. And Yone looking for Diana as well as Nidalee, misses the spear. A lot of damage coming through from Yone. Flash Q to finish it off, and then ulti to the Evelyn.
Evelyn ulting away.
Ooh, not a very good flash there from Evelyn because she's not going to die anyways. But yeah, slight advantage coming off for Berserkers because of the good plays from Yone.
Yep, really nice pick.
Not a really good, really difference in gold. Both teams have their first dragon.
Nidalee is going to engage.
Miss the skill, the hook from Nautilus. They're starting to group up on the mid lane more. They're preparing for mid-game team fights. Renekton's going to move up mid, but Yone is not going to walk up top, getting wards for the downside push.
Yep. Farm-wise, in the top lane, you can see the Renekton is nearly half farm ahead of the Volibear. Meanwhile, he's engaging the Volibear and Evelyn. Volibear has to ult away, gets the charm. Smited to slow. Evelyn and Renekton doing damage, and the Volibear has to go down.
Really feeling bad here for Volibear as he already got camped numerous of times and still haven't reached the 100 CS mark yet. He's going to be getting his item quite slow right now as he doesn't really have much gold to spend. And now we're looking at the 2v2 in the mid lane. Gonna engage. Gordinka coming off. Re-engage in from the Yone. Teleports coming in from Volibear. Maybe get the Evelyn. Really nice trade.
Meanwhile, in bot lane, play happening there. Volibear is going to dive, gets ignited. He will dive to the tower damage. Now in bot lane, Nautilus getting caught by the Thresh and the Yone. So it's a 1-for-2.
Quite a even game here, but still a bit of advantage coming off from Titans.
Yep. Yone engaging. Diana using her ult.
Sonya's stopwatch.
Gets caught by Caitlyn's trap.
Oh, a really nice Q
CC
from Yone.
shade.
That's a really good play from Yone. Maybe now he's going to be carry this game.
Yep,
We'll also
so
wait for Caitlyn to farm up.
Despite the Volibear early game disadvantage, the Yone is actually fed for Berserkers. So not really a much disadvantage for the Berserkers, I
If
say.
they're going to be able to see Yone here, maybe going in for this Dragon Steel. Already been spotted by Curtain Call. Zoning in from Yone. And the Berserkers are going to get the Inferno Drake. Berserkers are really evening up over here from the gold and kills as well as dragon.
Yep, you can slightly see that the Renekton is falling off. He isn't really that impactful as the early stages of the game.
But I must say that he could have done more if he roamed to mid and actually engaged more into the Yone.
Yep, I agree. Meanwhile, bot lane tower is being siege by the two bot lanes. You can see on the minimap, Thresh is roaming down.
Spot that ward, play the ward out. I must say that Titans have a really good vision here in the top side of the map, in the Berserker's jungle. Meanwhile, it's going to be a bit of trade going on in mid lane, nothing happening much. Berserker's not really getting that enemy jungle vision, as there's not quite that much ward placed into the enemy's territory. Like what's going on in mid lane. 3 people in the mid lane for Titans.
Renekton is waiting in the bush, hopeful for a catch. Meanwhile, in bot lane, nothing really happening there. I would say,
Yone has to get back from his E.
the Renekton should make plays more often because he's like ticking bomb. He's a early game champion that has to utilize his damage early game unless he would fall off. But we don't really see that much from the Renekton.
You know, Diana's gonna get caught by Yone, not gonna quite connect. But then the Volibear is almost dead, but Ignite from Evelyn. No one's gonna die. The Berserker's bot lane are quite safe farming, as there's not really much engage happening there in the 2v2 situation. But now I think Renekton is looking to pick a fight, stun on the Yone. And there's the E back, dodge that not his Q. A lot of damage going through to the Renekton, but he's going to be fine because he has Gordinka as well as his Q and lifesteal up. Nodlet's going to get caught, and then the results. Fight going in. Volibear
Nice
engaged.
ult by Volibear.
No, Titans are falling apart.
Caitlyn ult is going to kill the Evelyn. Meanwhile, Renekton is trying to survive. He goes back to engage the
Thresh.
Thresh, gets played, and he's going to go down.
But not quite a good hook from Thresh. He shouldn't get that kill. Should have gone to maybe Caitlyn or even Volibear.
Yep, it's
Just
an
use the
ace
support.
for Berserkers.
Berserkers are coming off top now. After
Yep.
that early game advantage from Titan is slowly falling off because they're not quite engaging. Looking for Baron for Berserkers. There's no wards, no vision from the Titans yet.
You can start to see the scaling power of Caitlyn and Yone coming up from Berserkers as they are starting to deal more damage. Berserker having a 2k gold lead. Baron is being done without contestant, and it's going to be a free Baron for Berserkers.
And also a 3k gold lead now for Berserkers. It's going to be uphill for Berserkers from now because the Yone and Caitlyn are starting to grow up faster and faster because they're the late game carries.
Yep, and as you can see, Titans are waiting in the bush, in the river bush to make a pick. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, out there. Managed to get out with his E. What a good Q, but no one's to follow up.
Dragon is being started by Titan.
Steal his Lily. A nice hook and trap.
A little bit of poke for the Caitlyn.
Ooh. A nice ult from Caitlyn, plus the damage from the collector, and it looks like Berserker's going to collect that juicy Inferno Drake.
Things
One
are not
more
looking
Drake.
good.
Yeah, games are not looking good for Titans, and Berserkers are looking for one more Drake to be able to get the Infernal Soul, which is going to amplify their damage even more. Looking not so good for the Titans.
Yep, like we said earlier, Berserker's team comp, they need to poke, they need to use their long range, and that is what they did. They used their Caitlyn's Q and her headshot to poke the Titans and actually get a kill.
Really good positioning there from Kurt and Cole playing Caitlyn. Utilize the fullest out of her long range. I don't know what that. I didn't see that Nautilus Q, but
Nautilus is going to get caught and is going to go down.
meanwhile, oh, nice ult from Yone. Legendary right now, 9-1.
Mala.
Afiros is going to get tower dive. Managed to survive long enough to kill the Nidalee. It's going to be a 1-for-3. Yone going in, Renekton ulted. Oh, Godrigger dealing, soaking up a lot of damage. And then it's an ace for Berserkers again.
And I think that this is going to be it for the first game, as they have a lot of pushing power from the Baron. Nautilus is gonna get caught up again. Nothing you can do. Teleport
Very
coming in from Woolly
unfortunate.
Bear.
Yep, so you can see that Renekton Irrigate isn't really that effective. Then
And now-
go down and it's game.
ฮัลโหล
Game.
เฮียจบเร็วจัง
And it's game for the Berserkers. Going to be coming off top, going to the first winning lane.
All right,
And
guys. Okay.
Go.
So, all right, guys. Second game of the day. First ban
This,
of
this is against Phoenix and what's the other team? Olympians. So Phoenix against Olympians. Now, for the first ban for each side, they have Wukong and Yone for the left side, or for Phoenix's side, and for Olympians are Master Yi and Hecarim.
So the Olympians is very heavily focused on the junglers, with 2 junglers already banned. Meanwhile, for the Phoenix, Yone was banned, which is a very strong pick if you watch the last game. First pick for Phoenix is going to be Jin, a very strong AD carry right now, has high burst damage and has a utility.
What do you think Olympians gonna pick to counter this Jin?
Well, because Jin has high damage, right? But he lacks mobility. So I think they need to pick a engage team comp or engage support like a Leona or a Nautilus to engage on the Jin. Meanwhile, Kaisa has been picked for the Olympian bot lane. So 2 of the most strong AD carry has been picked.
It seems like, oh, they have picked Kane for the jungler.
Kane is, I would say, a stupid champion of how broken he could be sometimes. But
If played correctly and like roam correctly, he could be good, right?
Yep, but in recent patches, he has been nerfed and has been, I would say, underperforming. Okay, Vi has been picked as the jungler for Phoenix.
It seems like both teams just picked their ADC first. What?
Okay.
Sorry, a little technical difficulty.
I think we might have a disconnect.
It's bugged. Please wait a moment.
Sorry. My mid lane.
เกิดอะไรขึ้น
My
ไม่เป็นไรหรอกนี่กาลีน่า Okay, welcome back, guys. Sorry about the inconvenience. Riot is a good company.
And we're playing on Garena though. But yeah,
Yeah.
Riot's a very good company.
So we should probably see the same bans and the same pick for both teams.
This is to avoid being unfair, since if they were allowed to choose or ban new characters, they will probably ban the champions that the other team already shows. So this is why we're using the same pick, same ban.
Yep.
But still, for the first time when they picked, it's kind of weird when both teams, like, they chose their ADC first, which is not, I don't think it's common to choose their ADC first, right?
Yeah, I agree because it's very counterable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other team
But-
could just like send a very strong assassin to counter them.
Yeah, but both AD carries are like very strong right now.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see how the two teams will react and plan out their team comp. So we will be expecting to see Kaisa here.
Yep. Same pick, same ban. Probably a Vi. And this will be the pick that we didn't see last time. Right, it's a good company. Seems like Riot's a very good company. Sorry for the difficulties again. Please wait a minute.
Yep, we will be right back.
Oh.
อะไรอะ
You see the pictures, right?
Riot's a good company. Riot's a very good company.
เกิดอะไรขึ้นกับใครอ่ะน่ะ
Hi.
All right, guys, we're back again. Hopefully, we don't have any problems anymore. So it's going to be a new pick ban. First ban for Phoenix is going to be Wukong, followed by Kaisa. And for Olympian, it's going to be Hecarim and Darius.
It seems like both teams are banning the champions that the enemy team has chosen the last time, so they're kind of trolling each other.
Yeah, but with a new addition is that they banned Kaisa for the Olympians.
It seems like the Olympian didn't ban Jin, so Phoenix still shows Jin as their first champion.
Yep, a very strong AD carry, but lacks mobility. The next for Olympian is going to choose Ashe as their first pick. So a very high DPS AD carry.
Yep, but still, they both lack mobility. They're
Yep,
pretty
so-
like standstill targets.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the support matchup. Kane has been picked once again for Olympians.
Oh, new pick. They're probably gonna choose. This is Nasus, a very farm-dependent champion, early game, and he's very, very, very strong late game. Oh, but seems like they're still going for the Vi pick.
So Phoenix are choosing the same old picks from last time. Oh, but Karina is being hovered right now.
Oh,
So it's going to be Katarina mid for Phoenix. I would say a very strong mid laner as of right now. But she
And
will
she's-
be nerfed next patch.
yeah. She's also very high skill cap, meaning like you need to have a lot of skill and knowledge about this champion to play her to her full potential.
Annie is going to be picked for Olympians. I would say a unusual pick. You don't normally expect it to see an Annie, but she does have a high burst damage, especially with her ult.
You might use that to go against the AD carry and their mid laner because she can probably burst one of their champions into with one of her combos. So we might see that in the upcoming game.
Meanwhile, Morgana and Fiora were banned. So Fiora is a duelist top laner. I wouldn't say she's strong right now. And Ornn has been banned. So also a quite strong tank top laner. Okay, so Nautilus has been banned. I would say it's a smart move for Phoenix, as we already said that Jhin lacks mobility. So to counter him, they need a engaging support like Nautilus. Meanwhile, Leona has been picked for Olympians.
Leona is probably like another one of those aggressive supports tank that could easily go in and engage with Jhin close range. So it's very good that they picked this because they want to counter the Jhin as much as they could.
Yep, that Leona has a like point click CC. Set has been picked for Phoenix. So it's very interesting to see if this set is going to the top lane or support.
Yep. That these recent patches, a lot of people use him for support now instead of top laners. So, but
Oh,
it
it's
seems
gonna
like
be
he's going
Lulu.
top lane.
Yep, so it's going to be set top by jungle, Katarina mid, Jhin bot lane, and Lulu support for Phoenix. and Renekton has been picked as the top laner for Olympians.
It seems like they chose Renekton to counter against sets because it's pretty well known that Renekton can easily counter set. อีกแล้วเหรอ ปัญหาอีกแล้วเหรอ
Okay, guys, we will
Sorry?
be back again.
Will be. Can I eat dinner now? I'm very hungry. อีกแล้วเหรอ
Okay, guys, we're back. So, sorry for the inconvenience. So, it's going to be a really fast draft pick as both teams are going to ban and pick the same champion. Hopefully, we don't encounter any more difficulties.
I would really like to watch the match now. It's
Yeah.
it's been a very long time.
Yep. Well, now that we know the team composition for both teams, what do you think which team has the advantage?
It seems like for each team they're pretty like they're centering on one tank each. So it seems like their plan is probably to engage on the other enemy's team's ADC because both of their jungles can easily engage and even their supports can also help out with their junglers. So I think each team is aiming for each the main damage for each team so they can go in easy.
Yep, I do agree. But I do want to point out that the Olympians, they have a Renekton, which we already see last game that he's a early game champion that has to get fed in the early game in order to pop off, which we don't really see from last game as the game goes long and the Yone was fed.
Yep, Yone outscales everything.
Yep.
But it seems like
So-
this time the Renekton is facing a set, so it'll probably be an easier matchup for the Renekton. But who knows what will happen late game.
I think Olympians have a beefier team composition as they have a Renekton and a Leona, which are very tanky, and they have CC. They also have a Kane if Kane decided to go for the red Kane, which is a
Yeah.
more tanky build.
Frontline would be very, very, very good. So the enemy team would have a lot of trouble getting back to the back line. So yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how the Katarina plays out. What now? Skyman ออกจากล็อบบี้อะ Okay, guys, we are back again.
Yep. Fifth time.
So, internet issues with the connection. Hopefully, we will get to watch our match now.
Well, it's gonna be same pick, same band from the last time they drafted. So, not no difference here. So they're just gonna all pick the same heroes that they have chosen.
It'll be interesting to see which build each champion choose because of the new season 11. They change a lot of items, and like for example Ash, we can see that the standard build is usually like attack speed and crit, but we also see like some pro play they build the Imperial Mandate, the support item on Ash.
The burning meta thing.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting to see if this Ash will choose the Imperial Mandate build or the standard build.
The Jin also, he could actually go like many new builds.
Yeah,
He can
yes.
probably go burst or like go maneuver. Like he can buy Gale Force to maneuver from the enemy assassin.
Yep, so there's like Eclipse as a lethality weapon. I mean lethality item, and Gale Force, which is more like crit based AD carry item.
And also Kane, we'll see which form he gets to choose, either the red or the blue form. Well, yeah, there's also a new Katarina build, right? The
Yeah,
Blade of the Rune King
yeah,
Katarina.
the on hit build. So if you don't know, Katarina is a AP skill based champion. So her abilities deal magic damage, but she can buy like on hit items, which are like damage for attack oriented champions.
Now we gotta wait for the delay before
Yeah.
we enter to watch the match.
Yep. So just to keep the conversation going, what do you think about the new items for like season 11?
Oh, I think some of them are pretty broken or like too OP because like I think this one item called the Gore Drinker, it's if used correctly, it could be pretty. It could turn a team fight because the health that when you use it, the health that you regain is pretty high. So an outplay is possible after using the Gore Drinker. I think it's a very powerful item.
Yeah. I also think Gale Force is a very strong item. Like we said before that both Jin and Ash they have high burst, high DPS, which is damage per second, but they lack mobility. But like Jin, if he decided to build like Gale Force, he has the ability to dash. So that in essence, the item has eliminated Jin's weakness, which is no mobility.
It's kind of like a mini Flash.
Yeah, so questionable decision by Riot for making like items that kind of block the weakness for each champions.
Well, they say that season 11 is a ADC season, so they tried their best to buff up their ADCs with the new items. So yeah,
Yeah,
the ADCs are very strong now.
and we see how Tang one shots ADC anyways.
Yes, because Riot's a good company. Still, the Katarina could, if the Katarina played very perfectly this game, she could probably kill the Ash very easily before she gets countered and stunned. But still gonna be a very hard matchup.
Yeah, they have the Leona stun, the Annie stun, the Renekton CC. So pretty much all champions have like a form of crowd control to stop the Katarina ult.
And it seems like, do you think that Katarina will have a hard matchup against Annie in early game?
Not really. Annie isn't really like a lane bully, so I don't think she could really bully out the Katarina. The only thing she could use is her range advantage, so she should probably poke the Katarina a lot.
Yeah, that's what's probably gonna happen.
She could use her range advantage.
Rune build.
Yep, and Jin actually choose fleet footwork, which isn't really the rune Jin usually uses right now. Now Jin usually uses Dark Harvest since it gives him more like burst damage with the new items. Now, one thing I really like to point out before the game starts is that you can see that the Renekton has shows Conqueror and Teleport as his runes and summoner spells. So you can see the difference between this Renekton and last Renekton is that last game the Renekton focuses on like more burst damage to get the early game advantage with Ignite and PTA. But in this game, we can see that the Renekton chooses a more like scaling rune, which is Conqueror. He even chooses a safer build, which is Doran's Shield.
It also seems like last game the Renekton was focusing on winning his lane, but this game it seems the Renekton chose TP to help out with his teammates when they're doing the dragon or other objectives. So he could easily roam over and teleport back or teleport to them, and he could easily help out with the fight.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the Renekton played. The set, however, pick Ignite as his rune, so I guess he will be quite aggressive in the lane to bully out the Renekton. You can see the Katarina has placed a deep ward in Olympians red side jungle.
Both teams seems to start with the red buff, and Olympian seems to start with the blue buff.
So both junglers will be finishing their camps in the top lane. We could be expecting a gank from both junglers.
But I think it's kind of weird that the Kane starts with the blue buff. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think he would normally choose to start with red, which gives him more like clear speed.
It seems like both teams are not engaging, they're just farming up the items, so they try their best not to engage now until they get their level 2s or they get a level advantage before they engage.
Yep.
It seems like
Leona's going to engage, gets the stun with exhaust, Ash trying to deal DPS, flashes and gets the kill.
the Jin goes down.
So 3 summoners used for that fight.
Like Sauce secured the kill for the Olympians on the Jin.
You can see Renekton trying to bully out the set. Karina getting caught by the Kane. Has to flash away.
She's TPing back right away.
The wave is slowly pushing towards the Renekton.
Seems like he's feeding his lane, waiting for his jungler to come up and gank, so he could secure the set kill.
Yep. Meanwhile, Vi is on the bot side, trying to get the squatter cap on the minimap. You can see on the minimap, Set is roaming down to the Scuttlecraft. Kane is going to contest that. Set going to engage.
Oh,
Ignited.
Kane.
Kane flashes away. Set flashes,
Oh.
and Kane will go down.
That was a very bad move, going in without vision. So
Yeah.
there could be the enemy team could be anywhere because they don't have vision deep in the river. So now the set is playing aggressive with the red buff he got from the Kane.
But he's going to tank a lot of minion damage. The Renekton going in, but manages to survive.
The mid lane still very passive. Nothing, not a lot of things happening mid lane. They're just farming up, poking each other here and there, but they're not fully engaging on one another.
Yeah. But even though Katarina has more like pressure on the Annie, she's actually. Oh wait, it's actually Jin in the mid lane in the bar for the score. So I was
Oh.
confused about the farming score for a bit.
Oh yeah, they didn't change the roles in time last time.
Yeah, but you can see that the Ashe is like half farm from the Jin because of the first blood, which give her a slight advantage.
And the Jin, because he died, he lost the whole wave of minions. So which is why he needs to catch up in farm, and it's pretty hard for him to engage right now since the Ashe probably could just recall and get new items and probably outscale the Jin.
Yep, nothing much really happening right now. Zed trying to bully the Renekton, he dashes away. A little bit of poke.
Oh, it seems like Annie's going in. She flashes and ignites and ults, and down goes the Katarina.
Yep. I would say that Katarina doesn't really respect the Annie at all.
Yeah, she was kind of overextending on her part.
Yeah.
Seems like Phoenix's ADC bot lane are feeding their lane and waiting for their junglers to come to help because they feel like they couldn't probably win with the fight, so they're just waiting calmly and farming until their jungler comes and ganks. We haven't seen a lot of jungle ganks coming from both teams yet.
Yeah, both junglers are being very passive. Well, I'm not very surprised because they really rely on their ult. So Kane relies on his ult to like go into the champion, as well as Vi, who can engage the enemy. So I think both junglers are power farming to get level 6, then gank. Meanwhile, vision control on the dragon by Katarina.
Or it seems the set is bullying the Renekton very easily.
Yeah. So things aren't really going very well for the Renekton because he's being bullied. He's being, I would say he isn't really being impactful at all, which is bad because, like we said, Renekton is a scaling champion. He's like a ticking time bomb. The longer the game goes, the weaker he is. So Set is doing,
and because like he's getting pushed in his tower, Set could do many things like roam the river or put out the wards in deep into the enemy's jungle to find vision on the enemy's jungler. So he pretty loses a lot if he's getting pushed in his tower the whole time.
Yep. So I would say a very smart decision for the set to pick Ignite and bully the Renekton to gain the early game advantage. Meanwhile, bot lane, Leona engaged the Jhin, flashes away, exhaust, but goes down to the Leona.
Two ults going out there, one from the Ashe and one from the Leona, stunning the Jhin and then exhausting him, which makes him move slower, and they secure the kill with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lulu doesn't have ult to save the Jhin.
The Jin's probably going to have a very hard time now since the bot lane is very... Oh,
Meanwhile, in bot lane, Vi ganks the Katarina. Annie trying to survive, but dies in the end.
the Vi
yeah.
uses flash, right?
Yep, flash then ult. So like we said, I think both junglers are power farming to get their ult to make plays, which is working. Dragon is also being started by Olympians.
They're probably going to get it since no one was near there to help the Vi contest it. So Olympians secure a very safe dragon.
Yeah. So we can clearly kind of see that the top lane for Phoenix is doing well, but the bot lane isn't. While the Olympian bot lane are actually doing well.
Oh,
Nice dodge by the Renekton there.
they're still going at it. And it seems like the set is trying to make their enemy jungler come and gank top by pressuring top as much as he could, because if the enemy jungler ganks bottom and camps, the Jhin will have a very hard time farming.
I would say Kane isn't really being much active. He doesn't really have that map appearance at all. He's just power farming. And judging by the runes, which is Conqueror, we'll be expecting Kane to go for the red form.
The red farm is for like mostly tanking and holding out the front lines, and he has a
Yeah.
lot of high lifesteal.
So normally red form is a more like scaling form, I would say.
Yeah. Well, and as you see, the Kane's coming out to help, but the set
no.
disappeared out of vision.
Yep, Kane is going to walk down to the mid
Oh.
lane now.
Well, both
Oh.
both junglers and mid laners engaged, but it seems like the Kane got there faster and finished out the Katarina. Oh,
Lulu
Lulu's
also,
here.
and he
the
has to
set's
go
here.
down. TP
The
by
Renekton's
the
also here.
Renekton. Kane has to out.
Oh, it seems like Phoenix is doing better.
And it's a 1-for-3 for the Phoenix. So
That's a pretty good gameplay.
yeah, well played by the Annie for surviving the Katarina ult. Also nice TP by Set. So you can see that Set is 4-0 at 12 minutes in the game.
The Renekton kind of TP a little bit too late
Yeah.
because his team already got engaged on, and the whole enemy team, 4 of them, was already there, and the Renekton just went in there and he couldn't do anything, and he got stunned up.
Yep. So I think in order to come back to the game, Olympians has to farm a lot. Like the Kane is behind, the Renekton is behind, even the Annie. So they should focus more on farming instead of fighting.
I think Olympians will center their gameplay on bot lane then, because their bot lane is probably very ahead of Phoenix's bot lane.
Yeah, I expect to see more like bot lane ganks because Ashe has high damage. So if they manage to get the Ashe fed enough, they can protect the Ashe and let the Ashe carry the game.
And bot lane ganks are very easy because of the Ash's ult and Leona's ult, they can pretty
Yeah.
much stun up the ADC very easily.
They have a lot of engage.
Oh, the Kane skanking mid. Seems like the Karina's already backing to his turret, so.
Yep.
Oh, bot lane another engage.
Ult by the Leona. Vi ult the Ashe. Tries to flash
Yeah, she's
away.
flash away.
Leona trying to survive, flashes away as well. Vi
She
doesn't
flashes
have
to
damage.
block that Vi. Did you see that?
Yeah,
she
that's
flashes
very
to
well
block the
played
Vi.
by the Leona.
Oh, the Annie.
Annie trying
Oh.
to do a bit of damage. Katarina ult. Annie doesn't get to stun the cat, and she will survive. Has
Oh,
to
the
flash away
Karina
from the
flash.
timbers. Very
A
unfortunate.
very high damage bear.
Yeah.
But it seems like mid lane slowly catching up. And she's going for the on-hit build, as you said.
Yep. Blade of the Ruin King has been completed by Katarina. We also see that Vi has bought Stride Breaker, which is also a strong item because it gives you like a short dash.
And the Ashe shows the Kraken Slayer, a very high DPS item. It seems like Olympian already finished 3 of their mythic items, while Phoenix only has 2, the Stride Breakers from their top lane and their jungler.
Yeah, so you can see the set has also bought a Bramble Vest, which is a anti-healing option. So he's setting up for the Kane and the Renekton.
The set will probably be the one to tank most of the damage during the future team fights, so that's why he's starting to buy tanky items to start tanking up.
Yep.
It seems like both teams are starting to contest for the dragon. Both junglers are in bot lane.
Yep. I mean, even though Phoenix has a slightly kill advantage, the gold income is actually the same.
While the Renekton couldn't teleport because he's just getting bullied. Oh, the Vi is going in
Vi
there.
is going to get CC chain and has to go down. Dragon is going to go for the Olympian. Kane and Annie hunting down the Lulu. I don't think they will be able to get it. Rift Herald has been spawned for the mid lane.
The lane's probably going down, and that's going to be probably another turret for Olympians.
Yeah. Second turret for the Olympians. So that isn't very good for Phoenix at all because they have their mid tower destroyed, which gives more opportunity for
Jungle invades.
yeah. Meanwhile, Seth
Oh.
it's going to engage Leona. Engage it in. Seth ulted.
Oh.
Katarina ult.
Oh, the set goes down, and it seems like
Look at the healing. Look at the healing.
oh, but it seems like
Nice.
Phoenix is on top.
Nice ult by Lulu there managed to help out the Vi. But you can see right that the Kane healing is
Is a very massive.
yeah. Unfortunate
The-
for the Olympians. Yep.
They were also focusing set, which was not something I recommend.
Yeah, they were focusing like mainly the front line. They should focus the damage dealers, which is Jin and Katarina.
Yep, their Jin was pretty free. No one was pressuring him out of position, so he was like just standing there and taking out free damage. However, it seems like Olympians still on top objective wise.
Yeah, they managed to get 2 dragons and 2 towers. Gold wise, both teams are even in terms of gold income.
Renekton is farming for his mythic item.
So you can see Leona and Ashe are rotating top. They might gank the set. Leona is going to out. Ashe out misses. Set trying to out away. Managed to
He
survive.
lives. The enemy team uses 3 ults, one from the Renekton, one from Leona, and another from Ashe, but the set very wisely uses ult there to maneuver away from the CC, and he lives.
Yeah, well played by the set there. Meanwhile, the Phoenix are roaming down mid.
Both teams are starting to like crowd out with each other now to group up, so
Yeah,
they won't get picked off one by one.
it's going to be a ramp in mid again.
Both teams have very strong team fights because they for Phoenix they have a Lulu and a Set, which they could dish out a lot of damage and tank a lot of damage also, while the
Yep.
Olympian side have a very strong front line and a very strong back line.
Yeah, they also have a really strong engage with the Leona and Ashe and Annie. But I think the reason that the Olympians aren't really winning the team fight because they aren't really utilizing their pick potential.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have a Leona, they have the Ashe Arrow. They should focus more on picks instead of engaging in team fight.
It seems now they're trying to go and help out their top laner, which is they're trying to push the top lane. The Kane's positioning himself top a lot more now than bottom.
You can see Leona pinging. She's waiting in the bush. Leona gonna engage the Lulu. Lulu has to ult, but doesn't survive. Annie gets the kill, and that's gonna be it. Vi engage on the Ashe. Black gets away,
nice.
but Vi out.
The guys probably might survive if the Katarina flashes into the pit, but the Renekton's also here with the stun on the Katarina, and still the Annie still goes down, but the Katarina goes down also. A very good trade.
Yeah, very good
Since the
trade.
Renekton got a shutdown, so he could probably use that to buy the items. Now they're contesting for the dragon, but for Phoenix's side, they don't have vision in there because of the Olympians' control ward, which blocks all the vision from the other wards of Phoenix. But seems like they're changing their mind.
Yeah, it seems that Olympians are moving out.
Oh, they're just kind of stalling. Both teams are kind of stalling for something.
Set going to engage the Leona.
Oh, but Set's the only one in the pit. And the Renekton starts to walk in.
It's going to be a smite.
Smite battle.
Oh, Vi managed to get the dragon, but has to fall down by the cave. Set nice flank on the back line. Managed to get another kill. Meanwhile, Ashe is doing DPS.
Oh, the Ashe is
Annie
free.
misses her stun. Yep. It's a 1-for-2 for Olympian. Ashe arrow on Ilulu
Oh.
and gets the kill with her W. So
The
it's a
setback there
1-for-3.
was like focusing too much on the Renekton and the Kayn, and his back line was like easily reached by the Leona and the Ashe. So
Yeah, because for Phoenix, their only backline, their only front line is the set. So losing their front line makes their Jhin very vulnerable.
because of the fight, because of the fight, it seems like Olympians gold has started to lead.
Yeah, you can see a 2k gold lead for the Olympians. Farm-wise, you can see that the Jhin is down on farm.
He's half down.
Yeah, 82 to 164. Which isn't looking very good for Phoenix at all.
Do you think if Phoenix stall for late game, it would help them, or would it be worse for them?
I actually think it would be better because they have a more scaling team. Well, they have a Lulu, they have a Jin and a Katarina, so a very scary late game burst team composition. Meanwhile, the Olympians, they have the Renekton, which will fall off eventually. So I would say the Jin should focus on farming and catching up with the Ashe.
Vi seems to be thinking that someone's going to come and gank the set, so she's just waiting there. Well, there might be an engagement on top.
It
Oh,
may be a team
the
fight.
Renekton's going in. Oh,
By going in,
oh, but Katarina's also here, and
you can
the
see
Kane's
Katarina
probably dead.
ulting, the Kane has to go down.
The Renekton
So
also
is the
goes
Renekton.
down.
Yep, so nice pick by the Phoenix there.
I think that Phoenix didn't expect that the whole enemy team would be there.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that they're actually recalling instead of like teaching for tower or doing Baron. Who said misses
Oh.
his kill?
Set, I
Leona's
think
going
set
to engage.
overextends.
Yeah.
Oh, but he survives
but he
with his
has-
W.
Yeah. Nice survival by the Phoenix there.
It seems like they don't want to contest Baron because of the Ashe and the Annie, so they could easily scout out with Ashe's E.
Yeah.
So they didn't really want to contest it.
I think as the game goes on, it would be determined by which team gets the pick first and manage to get the 4v5 advantage. Because
Yeah,
both teams are fairly even right now.
or it could be by like teams making a mistake.
Yeah. You can
One
see
overextension, yeah.
Vi trying to engage Leona. Ashes the out the Ashe.
Ashe flashes away. Oh, it seems like the
Oh,
Y
Vi
still gets the Ashe.
Vi is trying to survive. Meanwhile, Renekton TP is topped.
He's probably going to survive or just run away and stall for time.
Karina going in, out gets stunned. Tries to deal damage as much as possible. Set
Oh.
taking down Leona.
Katarina still lives from that. Oh, the Jin's freeing damage and the Vi
Yeah.
back.
Nice play by the Vi for surviving and stalling the Kane. And it's an ace for Phoenix.
First ace.
So well played by the Katarina and Vi for surviving.
The Kane left his teams to chase the Vi, which was not something very good.
Yeah. I mean, Red Kane is more like a team fight champion. He's centered more on like disrupting fights with his knockup and draining damage, but instead he decided to chase the Vi. Dragon is being done by the Vi there. Gets spotted by the Ashe. Leona trying to poke it. They can't really do anything because they don't have backup.
He's kind of trying to put a ward to find vision into the river. Both teams are mostly just like mainly farming, nothing much.
Yeah. Nothing really happening right now.
As you can see, I see now the Renekton's starting to be like falling off because he couldn't deal a lot of damage now. He just mainly just stands there and tanks the damage.
Yeah, which is why he chose the Conqueror rune with Gourd Drinker, so he can like tank a lot of damage and heal from that. So instead of like pushing his early game, he can just become a tanky frontliner in the late game.
the Ashe starts to build the I think she's going for the Moral Reminder, which cuts the HP.
Yeah, it's a model reminder. It's a anti-healing item, probably for the set and the Katarina.
They both heal a lot for the set and the
Yep.
Katarina. But Ashe is having a very hard time since the Vi is aiming for Ashe most of the time.
Yeah, they could just like CC chain with the Vi ult and the set, and then just let the Katarina get kill.
Who knows? Phoenix might play over aggressive and make a fatal mistake, but it's still they work very well with each other. They wait for each other to cover up. They don't like go in too much.
Yep. Very passive, I would say, for both teams. Nothing really happening right now. I mean, it's a slight advantage for Phoenix because they know that they scale better than the Olympians, so they're just like stalling their time.
Their top laner and jungler also is very ahead, so they don't. It seems like they don't think that they need to.
They need to. They
Push
don't need
a
to
fight.
force. Yeah, they don't need to force a fight.
Both teams are starting to group up with each other, except for they're leaving the Renekton to push to solo push. Oh, the Jin, he bought the collector.
Yep, a used to be a very strong item. Still very strong right now, but I think the collector is like a. I don't think it should be an item. Like
Yeah.
the passive skill of like execution shouldn't really be a thing in the game.
It's too broken.
Yeah, like a skill for executing a champion isn't really like skillful.
And it seems like the
Dragon spawn.
Renekton's going for Bramble Vest also. Yeah, as you said, he's starting to build tank.
Yeah. Dragon spawning in 45 seconds, so we would expect to see a team fight there.
Yeah, both teams are starting to zone the dragon.
Yeah, and both team are even on the Dragon Soul.
They both have equal amounts of dragons. It seems like Phoenix is trying to find vision, but they don't want to face check, since if they face check, they could be ambushed and it could be very bad for them.
Yeah, Set is going to get caught out. Get
Oh.
CC chain, Lulu ulted the Set. Ash arrow misses. Set trying to tank a lot of damage.
Seems like Olympians starting to go back and cover for
Nice
the Ashe.
flank by Divide. Leona out and Set out. Very nice.
pentakill?
Quadra kill.
Is
Pentakill.
it going to be a pentakill? Oh, the Renekton's
Renekton trying to survive.
he runs, so that he just
Yeah.
decides not to get the penta.
So very nice play by the Set and Vi there. Like you can see, the Set was caught up in the team fight, but instead of like going in, he managed to be patient and tank a lot of damage and wait for his team to follow up until he ults.
The Ashe was stuck just in a narrow pathway, which the sets
Yeah,
ults in, and yeah, she couldn't really avoid it.
Ash was kind of out of position there. So mid lane tier 2 is being siege. You can see Vi split pushing in the bot lane tower.
I think the Vi did a pretty good job at getting the enemy's ADC.
Yeah, her out lockdown is very good against the Ashe since Ashe doesn't have a mobility unless the Ashe it decides to buy a QSS. Meanwhile, Baron is being started by the Phoenix without the Warp 5. And you can see Kane on the minimap is trying to contest the Baron. You can see Zed trying to delay. Kane tries to take the Baron, but is unsuccessful. Now he's left in a 1v3 situation.
He still goes down due to
Now
the
Zed and Katarina going to go down.
It seems like Phoenix did better at the Baron, but they still lost because they overengaged in team fight.
Yeah, so they lost to Baron buff and to Shutdown. So maybe Olympians might have a chance to get back to the game. We can see that the Jin has slowly following up with farm. He's building the next item, which probably be a lethality weapon item.
It seems like both teams are waiting for the dragon.
Yeah, they're waiting for the final dragon, which could be the Drake Soul for Phoenix.
Which if they have the Drake Soul, the set would be a lot more harder to take down, and the Vi would be very easy for the Vi to go and get the Ashe.
Yeah. Blade of the Ruin King has been bought by Seth, so he's going for a more damage build instead of going like full tank.
Both teams have a very high amount of farm for each player. The sets and the Renekton are very highly farmed and the Vi is also very high farm.
Yeah, you can see even though the Renekton is losing in the lane, he has more farm than the set.
He has so much farm, the Renekton, that he has a bounty now.
Yeah. So nothing much happening right now. I would say the Baron buff for Phoenix isn't really put into good use at all. They weren't really sieging for tower or using their buff for team fights.
I think it's mainly because of their front line going down, so they couldn't push. So they just decided to stay passive.
Yeah, it all comes down to, I guess it all comes down to the fight at the dragon in another 30 seconds. So if Phoenix managed to contest the dragons, they might have a chance of finishing out the game.
This team fight might be able to decide who wins or who loses.
So you can see zoning for the Olympians. They have to contest this dragon because they can't let the Phoenix get the Dragon Soul.
It seems like the Ashe is staying very, very far back.
Yeah, she knows that if the Vi locks on her, she can pretty much die at any second.
Oh,
Misses the Q. Renekton starts going in. Not Thresh, I mean Zed out. Lulu outed the Zed. Zed trying to deal as much damage. Ashe out at the back.
oh,
Nice damage by the Jhin. And it's an ace for Phoenix.
and that's probably a Dragon Soul.
Yeah, so you can see, even though the Jhin is behind, he slowly farms and builds up items until he's managed to fish out a lot of damage.
He's trying
And
to
it's
buy
going
the
to be-
Infinity Edge, right? For the Jin.
Yeah, I thought it's gonna be a lethality item, but right now probably an Infinity Age.
But
But I
seems
guess
like
it's going to be game.
GG
yeah, well
comes from the Olympian side.
Yeah, well played by both teams. It's actually funny to see that in the two games,
Yeah.
the team picked Renekton, and you can see that those teams lost.
Yeah, it didn't go that well for them.
Yeah, so we could probably say that Renekton isn't in a really good spot right now.
And that's pretty much it. And for are we having
Yeah.
a third game? ไม่มีแล้วใช่ไหมโอเค
Okay.
โอเคเหนื่อย
Okay.